Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You guys are, hey, come on now. I need y'all to have that energy. We are here today to talk to you guys about leadership and laughter, a workshop that we've been doing with the military. However, this is the first time that we're going to be releasing this training to the general public, to the civilian side of things. And so we've been doing this at a high level at the military as far as the director is concerned. And myself and Darren, we have two different companies and we're collaborating. And the cool part about our relationship is I met him at 1 Million Cups Prince William. He was a presenter at 1 Million Cups Prince William. And he has a company called Unscripted where they do improv, and he has a couple other companies that he works with. And I thought it was powerful in what he does. And I'm like, how can we use what he does and what I do to make it great? And I thought about my leadership and my leadership style. And my leadership has always been leading with laughter and having fun. Because if you're not having fun, the people around you will not have fun, you know? And that's tough to do, to be in a leadership position and then everything rides on your shoulders. And to try to put that out to your team, it's tough. And so I said, you know what, we could collaborate and make that happen. And so that's how we got together. If you look at the slides here, it shows that he's playing the violin, which he doesn't know how to play.
Which I do know how to play. Won't nobody know the difference.
Oh, do you know how to play it?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. And then, you know, me basically sitting in that leadership position and people really not getting that collaboration of how leadership and laughter makes it together. And it's one and the same. It brings people together. It's that thing that you need to take your organization to the next level. And so I want to start off here with the definition of leadership. This is the best definition that I found, not only because it's the Army's definition of leadership. You like that definition as well, don't you?
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. But it really brings everything into it. It's the art of influencing. I looked up the definition in Webster's dictionary. It just says leading people. It doesn't really say much. But when you talk about leadership, it's about influencing people to do what you need them to do by providing purpose, motivation, and direction. And motivation can be fun, right? Like that good morning that I do. Good morning.
Good morning.
Right. That motivation, it actually is infectious. You know what I mean? And that's the type of motivation that people need to have within their organizations. But what happens is people get in these leadership positions and they're never taught how to be a leader, but they're really good at the job that they do. And our goal with this is to bring both of those things together in a way that it works. You guys taking pictures of me? The key thing that I really want to take away here is, in order to accomplish the mission and improve the organization, is because whatever that mission is, and I'm sure the mission is for most businesses out there, is to make money. But also you want to make money and then make money better and better every time. And so how do you bring both of those things together?
So we want to talk about laughter. So I like interaction, right? So can everybody give me a good laugh? Think about it. All right, so when you think about laughing, when you think about things that are really funny, when you think about whoever your favorite comedian is, it brings a smile to your face, correct? And so that makes working better. That makes your employees better. That makes you as CEOs better. And these are just some of the benefits of laughter, goodwill towards others. So when we're all smiling, for instance, you might, for those who just introduced themselves to me this morning, you may have smiled just because it's the nice thing to do, right? You don't know who I am. You don't know if I'm a good guy or anything like that. It's just a goodwill towards others. But when we laugh together, it's something different. It's laughing. That means that we have a commonality together. That means that we're engaging together. It's something different. And laughter can reduce anxiety and other negative emotions as well. So when we're thinking about you being angry, when we're thinking about you being frustrated because, for instance, my wife left some dirty clothes on the floor before I left, so now I'm mad when I go to work. Okay, so now when I get to work, I'm a little frustrated because I'm still thinking about that stuff I have to clean up when I get home. But with the laughter, it can reduce anxiety. So when we're on the job and we're doing things together and we're laughing about something, then that kind of reduces and kind of brings me back to what I need to do. And this is one of my favorite parts. It's good for your cardiovascular, right? So because I'm a big guy now, and since I've been out the military, I don't like to exercise as much. So this right here, laughter can bring it brings the blood flow together, all the other kind of stuff, which is the same as kind of running, but on a lower scale. So if I laugh all day long, then guess what? I'm exercising, and I love to do that. So, and that prevents me from having to go to the gym, pay memberships, all the other kind of stuff. Although, you know, oh, sorry, yes, but I would love to join memberships and gyms.
You will have a membership to break away.
Yes, okay, I take that back. Rewind. Yeah, and social laughter can relieve pain. So when we're talking about social laughter, we all laughing together, and it all goes back to coming together for a common ground. And I think that for when you're talking about your jobs and you leading your companies, it brings a direct correlation to how effective your people can be.
And one of the funniest things in the world is the truth. And in my leadership, and the way that I do these trainings is we uncover the truth in a way that it's not painful and you can laugh at it and move forward from it. You guys supposed to laugh. But if you see here, the guy up front is the leader, and you see how he's having fun. If he's having fun, everybody else has fun. It doesn't take away from the fact that they probably practiced this a million times in the background in order to make this look good. But, you know, being a leader is hard work. But if you're having fun, you can have fun. So I don't know if you guys know this about me. I used to be in the Army. I used to be top of the food chain, so to speak. I was the first Army National Guard G1 Sergeant Major in the Army's history. What that is a senior human resource guy for 350,000 people. I know you guys are looking at me like, really? Wow. I say the same thing when I see it. It blew my mind when they told me, you know, that I was going to be doing this position. And it was one of the most enjoyable jobs that I ever had because I was able to take care of people in so many different ways. And I looked at people, my rank was Command Sergeant Major, but when people saw me, they said CSM. But what CSM stood for me was Customer Service Manager. And I thought that every person that was in the military was my customer. And they actually were. Actually, you see I had 350,000 people, 54 states and territories in the District of Columbia. And these were the directorates that I covered: recruiting and retention, medical, policy, systems, manpower, family programs, chaplain. All of these areas they fell under my purview. And so when I say I've been in the people business, I've been in the people business for over 26 years, taking care of people in so many different levels. And I've seen it from both sides, from the leader's side and the employer side. And let me tell you, they're both saying the same thing. And they're both like, hey, I want to do great things, but this person is impeding me. They're both saying that same thing. And so being a coach and an executive leader, I'm teaching you guys how to bring both of those together and have that understanding and that communication on how to win.
So I am the assistant to my wife, AKA co-founder of Real Life Productions. Real Life Productions, we have Unscripted DC, which is improv comedy. We have Youth Center Stage, which we teach communication through improv. We're in Prince William County Schools. And we've partnered with several: Manassas City, Leadership Prince William, Rotary Leadership. We've partnered with a lot of those. I'm also a veteran as well. Been in for about 7 years. I'll be retired next year if I'd have stayed in, but unfortunately I did not. So I am continuously being reminded that I would have been retiring next year if I stayed in. My wife and I, we are marriage facilitators as well. We've been doing this for about our entirety of our marriage for about 15 years. Funny story, short one, is we actually ended up counseling our pastors at one point, and it was like year one of our relationship, and they were going through something, and the wife, she was like, well, I'm going through hard times, I think I'm gonna leave him. And I was like, well, leave that joker, drop you zero. You know, who does that, right? Who encourages their pastor's wife to leave, you know, your pastor? Well, eventually, I mean, apparently I did, you know, because I didn't have any skills. And so I think that's important to realize that, you know, to don't encourage people when you don't have the wisdom. But anyway, so we've been doing that for about 15 years, and then I'm also the Prince William County Arts Council chairman. I've been in about a couple months now. So we stay fairly busy, and we own about hundreds of different businesses. We are, let's see, casting directors, producers, all the other kind of stuff for different things. So that's all of what we do, and that's all of what I do, and that's it.
That's all.
No, that was it for the presentation? No, it was it for me. Sorry.
Okay. So the leadership and laughter, who is our audience? So these are our audience, CEOs, entrepreneurs, executive managers, newly promoted leaders, and emerging leaders are our audience for this training. And what do they get out of it? So clarity. And what I mean by clarity is they have to have an understanding of who they are as a leader, and then they also have to have an understanding of what they want. And these are the other things that they get out of this program. It's very intensive, and it's very basic. We give them a basic foundation, but a holistic foundation of leadership during this program.
And I think what's important too is just really bringing the fact that you want your employees to be engaged. You want your employees to stay because turnover costs. You know what I'm saying? And you want good employees as well. So I think you just through what we do is that we're promoting longevity within your company to be able for your employees to actually like their job, want to be at their job, and just like the meme that he showed before, is it's okay to get up there and look crazy and dance crazy because you have your team behind you and they'll be dancing with you.
And so the cost of loss per employee is about $100,000 per employee, but being able to create an environment where people want to stay is priceless. Huh?
I like that quote.
You like that?
Yeah, man.
And so this is where we've promoted it. We've done it at trade shows, networking events, social media, and all of that. But we're doing our first event January 15th here at Office Evolution. Thanks to Office Evolution and John Yu for sponsoring this event. It's going to be huge, and we definitely need your support as far as promoting this and putting this information out. And here's a couple testimonials of the training that we've done so far. That's all we have.
What's the challenge question?
What's your challenge?
And our challenge question is, how do we market and advertise this? Because we've been doing this through the military, high levels of the military. We've been doing this training, but we want to be able to put this training out to the masses. And there's a huge benefit of it. And we just want to figure out how to do that more effectively and be able to get the most out of this.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Okay, so I'm the moderator today, and if you've been with us before, you already understand the ground rules. If not, let me go ahead and fill you in. You each have a pen and a piece of paper in front of you. If you have an idea that you want to bring up or pose to the gentleman, go ahead and write it down, because if I don't call on you, it's not because I don't like you, it's because of the fact that we're just too busy because there's so many questions. The fortunate thing is, at the end of the session, these cards will be collected and then turned over to the gentleman so they can review them later on. With that in mind, make sure you put your contact information down in there as well, because that way they can reach back to you if they have additional questions or want to follow up. Now, ground rules for today, we try and be as short and brief as we can. We don't want a congressional hearing kind of question that takes 5 minutes for everybody to sit there and go, okay, great. Second rule is, you are allowed to heckle today. All right, this is supposed to be leadership and laughter. If you want to heckle, do it, okay? Because these guys can take it. Now, to get things started, I'm going to pose a challenge to both gentlemen, and that is this. From the improv side, you are a canary salesman, you are a cage salesman, and you're both stuck on a bus that's broken down. Go. I tried. Okay. Who has the first question?
Russ McIntosh, Vision Idea Design. Have you thought about putting together a short little YouTube clip to post on social media?
Yes, we did, but that's a great idea. We haven't done that yet. Actually, we do have a little.
We do have a video.
You have it if you in a car, yeah.
We have another video that we haven't released yet, but yeah, we thought about doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
In the back.
My Ashman Research Center. Have you thought about doing webinars and building an audience, like doing a monthly webinar?
Oh, that's a great idea. That is a great idea.
Could you speak up so the camera can try?
Oh, okay. Talked about doing a webinar once a month, also and building your audience.
Okay, webinar to build the audience. Okay. Somebody else. Coach Marvin.
How are you, Coach Marvin Powell? One of the things I think is critically important today for all of us is to, when you think about marketing anything, is to understand the power of video, and not just a one shot, I posted a video kind of thing, but a series of videos where you can take a use of Facebook Live or YouTube Live or anything on a regular, consistent basis, just breaking down different segments of the ideas and the concepts that you talk about. And when you do that, you will develop that following she's talking about, but more significantly in developing the following is engaging that following into the next step and coming up with Autobots and different programs that you can use. I love Autobots because you just hit a button and all of a sudden people come right into a funnel that leads them right down the pipeline to what you want them to do, whatever that is. You can do this all quite simply and inexpensively, actually for free, if you're smart.
Can I get a question back to you, Chris?
Yes.
So I am confused, or not confused, but I'm working through this process of determining which one is better, live or just videoing and then putting it up. Like, I know for engagement, obviously you want to do live, but as far as starting out with people that don't know the concept quite clearly, is it better just to go live when you were talking about these different things, like in a week, maybe 5 weeks, just go live, and then after that maybe start putting content, or?
Both.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta do both. It's hard work, but it's worth it.
We got Jen, and then over here.
Just one thought, because this is such a different concept, I think it's its own brand, and your sound bites and how you live leadership and laughter will have to happen at every touch point. So if it's a video, how is leadership showing up and how is laughter showing up? If you're doing animated stuff, or if you're doing flyers, whatever it is, it needs to have both. I don't know if that looks like a joke or what that looks like, but just keep in mind, it really needs to look and feel differently so that your audience feels that as well.
Gotcha.
Over here.
Tom Scheich, Long and Foster. My question is, and you kind of identified it a little bit, who is your target market?
So,
Is it the CEO at the top of the corporation?
So our target market is the CEO, and it's also the emerging leaders in the organization. Obviously, we would have to have somebody from their HR department allow us to do the training or pay for the training. But that is our, yes, CEO.
Well, they're usually old guys, right?
Yep.
In corporations. They probably don't like videos. They don't laugh.
You got that a long time ago.
So, that's something that's food to think about. You can do videos and you can get the mid-level people that are probably a little younger, but the older people, I don't think, are going to watch videos.
So how do we get to them then? Knock on the door. So door to door sales.
And there's almost as many as you as there is real estate agents.
Yes,
They're
absolutely.
out there.
Absolutely.
Ann, you had a question?
I was just gonna say, I know that your goal is for the January 15th to get people there. I was just gonna say, put an article in Tyson Reporter, but with it, a video of maybe a 30-second example of a leadership point that you can get across with some sort of humor.
Gotcha.
We got that.
Yes.
So January 15th is the first time you're doing it to civilians, correct?
Yes.
And what's the cost of it?
So right now, that's a good question. Right now, we're charging $200 for early bird and $400 for any time after that. But that's we want to pose that to the audience as well as what is a good price point for an initial training like this. I know what I charge the government, which is a lot.
Well, I'm just saying because people love deals. So if you buy one, get one free, so they can tell their friend, or even though you're still doing it at half price for the early bird, which ends when?
It ends
December 30th, or something like that. Then maybe you have, after that, said buy one, get one, half off. Just, people love deals. You can make it the same cost, but just tell them it's a deal. I'm being serious. People love to think they're getting a deal.
True.
Dennis, one question, how long is the seminar? I can't tell what, $200
So-
what you get for the 200, 5 hours, 2 hours?
So the seminar is 4 hours long, and it's broken into 2 parts. We do a leadership part and a laughter part, and within that, you learn what your culture is, and there's an understanding of how that works. You'll understand the formulas of success. There's a lot of stuff that's brought into this, and you also understand who you are and how you think and how you make decisions and all of that.
Go ahead.
Darnell, have you looked at, I mean, you're retired from military, you have a database of, or hopefully have a database of 350,000 people that were in your division.
Mm-hmm.
Have you looked at, like, you know, the Military Times, you know, the magazine itself, or targeting specifically people like yourself that are retired from the military? A lot of them that I've met and know are starting their own businesses and, you know, are in a situation where it's sort of a natural segue. You're already doing military, you're already doing government. These people are making the step over. I think that's a good market for you.
Yeah, that's a great thought. Thank you.
Okay. You.
Are you guys members of any of the local chambers?
Yes, yes.
So definitely plug into that. And even ones that you're not members of, you can always visit and you get a few minutes, like at the beginning here, to say what you're about, what you're doing. And you know, it's a free way to connect with local business owners and executives who might be interested in what you're offering.
Wow, thank you.
Coach Marvin?
Real quick, I thought a couple taglines that hit me. First of all, funny business.
I like that.
I think it's a pretty good tagline that you can figure out how to use and twist it into anything you want to put it into. And also, I want to see something where you actually taught a leader how to find the funny. Because like the gentleman next to me said earlier, you know, you're going to be talking to an audience that maybe have lost that funny bone a long time ago and might not know how to get back on it, and really why it's so powerful. But I can imagine a video kind of showing a process or something that happened that the leaders kind of figured out, oh, this is actually hilarious, and let's figure out how we can use it to inspire our people, blah, blah, blah.
And
something
sarcasm
like that
doesn't count.
something like that would be so attractive.
Yeah.
I would think, you know, just that's something.
And we have a video that I posted that actually has me with the leaders in a round circle, and we have not only the leader laughing because he made a crazy comment, but we have his employees laughing as well, and so everybody's engaged, and so we do have that. So I think we just have to throw it out there, maybe with some different taglines and stuff like that.
Right.
John?
Thank you. Thank you, guys. So I think your first decision is, what is your target, going back to Tom Scheid? Is it a Fortune 1000 companies where the product is reutilized by you guys, whether in person or online in corporate America, or it's a mass audience? Because the marketing is very different, and the client acquisition cost as a percent of revenue is very different. And what you can do from marketing strategies to a mass audience through social media is much different than what your tactics are when you're approaching the HR people. You have many strengths and assets to sell in corporate America, and without any knowledge, because I always start with ignorance, the Fortune 1000 to me, and yes, there's as many as realtors out there, no doubt, but utilizing your power of what you guys talked about in your credentials in corporate America sells.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rodney?
Are
Ron?
there any organizations you can partner with to market this, like a veterans business organization or someone like that can help get the word out?
Yes, there's actually a couple that I work with now that I didn't think about asking them, but you know, by you sparking that, I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
Okay.
So speaking about videos, and I know that your targeted audience is CEOs and leaders, but sometimes they're so busy they don't realize that they need to change in being coached to change the culture. How about like something like Humans of New York, those videos that you go target the population itself that speaks to all the gaps, and then go back to CEOs and say, you know, we're facing a lot of problems here that we need to change based on all the interaction that we did with just those regular employees.
Can you speak up a little bit? Some of the people in the back can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought of it. So we have like two kinds of audience here, targeting the real audience that need to participate in those workshops, but then the thing that we need to hear also the employees or the rest of the crowd in a given company. And then we're speaking about videos, something similar to Human of New York, where you're interacting directly with, you know, just people and asking random questions about, you know, their companies and the way those leaders at their companies are, you know, their style, their managing, you know, the things that should change and so on.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Laura?
So, a couple of things. I think that if you create a jingle, since you are so funny.
Well, my wife doesn't think I'm funny.
Most wives don't think they're funny.
So, no, you know, I can introduce you to somebody that will do almost for free a jingle that will be something that you can use it for a long time.
Mhm.
The second one is, you know, you can do just business cards for just a few, 200 business cards. When you meet somebody, put in the back. We have this event in January, so from now to January, because you will meet around 200 people from now to January 15.
Mhm.
So to put in the back, we invite you to January 15 event, and if you keep this coupon, we give you $20 off, whatever. So then, I mean, this just specifically for that, to that event, to January. So just because you meet too many people, every day you meet around 50 people.
Here, and then Dave.
So I went over to Capital One the other day, Reggie Holmes, Enthuse Creative, and they have like an auditorium, and so I feel like this would work well in organizations that have their own kind of stage set up. You know, like everybody secretly wants to be on stage. They want to do improv even if they feel like they can't. You know, so I feel like that has appeal, and so organizations where you can walk in and say, hey, we want to take advantage of your space. It's a large company, and they're looking for outside of the box ways to kind of engage their employees. And then also, I thought about The Office, like the show. The sitcom.
Yeah.
So if you could do like a parody of The Office, because people, you know, that show hasn't been on in 10 years, but people love the show, they love the characters, and it still resonates. So maybe you can use some kind of parody of that, like in a commercial trailer for this program that you're going to launch. I think that would be a hit with people, and they would resonate.
Yeah, we got the people.
Stop.
So, well, that brings Dave Morrell 4 steps ahead. It brought up a couple of things because I could see how having Michael and Dwight play off of each other might play into it. You can parody that. So, the question I have is more about how does the session work? What's your student-teacher ratio? How many people can you have in a session? And how's the interactivity going to be set up? Because I think some nuggets for your marketing and messaging you want to communicate is not just about outcomes, but it's also what's the experience like for people? Is it two talking heads, or is it interactive?
So it's interactive. We get people to engage with each other. We have some. I'm just going to let you know we have some pretty serious conversations during this, because if you're trying to change the culture of an organization, the truths have to come out. You got to tell the truth on what's going on in that organization, and then once you get past that dynamic, there's an understanding of, okay, how do we move forward from this? And when he does the laughter piece, they really get together and engage each other, and they get to see each other. As you can see, one of the testimonials is one of the employees said that they finally saw their employer as a human being, and they were able to have fun together and engage each other. And that was so cool, for that person to say that, and they really, really loved that piece. And so the engagement between them was very powerful and brought them together.
I think it is something to say too. So the ratio, to answer your question, for my part, I would recommend no more than 10 people per me, essentially. And so that is because I have a team of about 5, 6. I got a team of whoever based off the crowd. So, but I would recommend for the engaging piece is no more than 10 per, like I said, per me. So essentially what that is, we would create or pose a problem, within this here in a fun environment. Like, okay, well, what's the 1 million cup slogan or whatever? It's a cup of coffee. So we would come up with a problem with a cup of coffee. There's no sugar, there's no cream, there's no coffee, but you got the cup. Something like that.
The beatings will end when morale improves.
Yes, there you go.
So I would suggest having like a tagline underneath the leadership and laughter that talks about what problems or pain points you resolve with that, right? Because that's going to create the urgency for them to actually go sign up for it. And I think 2 things that are big in corporate America now that you could solve with this are innovation and employee engagement retention.
Ooh, write that down. Yeah.
I did. Right, because there's things that say that like humans evolve to like help each other out, right, in communities, and that if everybody feels safe, everybody naturally pitches in. But when they stop feeling safe and they start feeling it's combative or competitive, that's when everybody like shuts down, right? And so I think this could really, like you were just saying, now you see the other people as human, could really open up a lot for innovation. And then just the dialogue is more engaging and getting people going.
Absolutely.
So-
Some benefits of laughter, and I'm gonna be quiet, right? Is I'm not actually. So a couple of benefits of laughter. One in particular is it has no lines. You know what I'm saying? As far as laughter goes, you know, we can laugh with one another regardless if we're on the left, if we're on the right. We can do that if we have racial tension. We can do all this kind of stuff. Laughter brings people together. Laughter saves lives because essentially it brings you together. It doesn't matter what side you're on, if you're gay, heterosexual, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't really matter. Laughter brings you together. We can all laugh together.
Can you tell them real quick about the barbershop instance?
Yes. Okay. So I had a barbershop owner come to me, and I told him about this unscripted DC and the things that we were doing. And he was like, "Man, you know what? This would be really funny or whatever." I have a situation in my barbershop where we have two barbers that's fighting over lotion. So I was like, "What do you mean lotion?" And he was like, "Well, one barber thinks the other barber stole their lotion or their alcohol from them." And they's like, "Hey man, you stole my alcohol or whatever." He's like, "No, I didn't." And he was like, "Well, it's right there." And he was like, and so they arguing over lotion as they're cutting each other hair. And he was like, "Well, could you perform this as far as your unscripted DC of making fun of this about, it's almost like a Saturday Night Live skit, you know, but can you make fun of this based off of two barbers looking crazy fighting over lotion?" And then, you know, when the two see that, obviously, you know, they're going to be embarrassed, especially for the barbers that know they were doing that. But then it's going to bring some clarity and some laughter. So when they go back, they can say, "Yeah, you know, that was stupid, bro. That was, you know, what we fighting over lotion for? I can go get you your own. We can get two." You know, so
Unfortunately, barbers don't have enough money to hire a lawyer to sue each other.
Yeah, yeah. So just this is small little points or whatever where you can make fun of the small things. Whereas, you know, instead of building and snowballing, you can take care of it at what we do.
And we're going to go across the room here, starting with Krista, right across the front here and back to Bob. So go ahead, Krista.
So all your promotional material is stuff you've done with the military, correct?
Yes.
That's all you've done. So someone who is a business owner who was never in the military, I'm going to look at that and I'm going to say, I can't relate. So perhaps you make a mock, you do it 30 minutes, even with us or whoever, you get a group of people together and show them what to do. So when people see it, they're relating. Because when people see the military and they're not military, they think it's military. Just my 2 cents.
The cool part about the training that we did and that we do with the military is we make sure that they don't come in uniform, and so
there
you can't tell that they're in the military when they do it.
You can always tell.
You can tell.
Something special about us. You can always tell.
You're right about that. You're right. I'll keep forgetting.
Yeah, how can you tell a room full of soldiers? They're all wearing plain clothes. You go in, walk, you go 10, hut, and they all stand up. Next person.
That wasn't fun.
I tried. Dang.
Hi, Sarah Joy. I think the 2 parts. I think your audience that are a group of individuals that get forgotten are the emerging leaders, because they are not taught, unless they have a great boss, which usually is never the case, how to be that type of leader, bringing in that sense, and they'll be more open to laughter and that kind of concept to be innovative. And any middle manager at a company has the hardest job because they have to be an individual contributor and learning how to be a leader at the same time. And they lose the spark, speaking from experience, right? They lose the spark about what made them want to lead because they have to still play 2 roles. So that area can definitely need some love and attention. You can find that through LinkedIn, just like any manager or whatever middle ground, and market to them. And if it is more individual, if you can make it to be more targeted that way instead of in a group, but always, there's a program called teachable.com where you can build your own online course and just put an online course and have people pay for your course without you being in there and make it passive income.
That's
pretty
I like her.
I had not heard about that.
Did you write that down?
Yes, sir.
Jen,
You
you're
got
up
a
next.
bomb. You're hired. I don't know how much we're gonna pay you right now.
I would look at the chambers who have young executives and see, because they actually have young executive groups, like at the Tower Club, at the Wrestling Chamber, at others, and see if they would like to come and nominate or bring a leader with them. I love the idea of buy one, like bring one, right? But it should be either a senior leader bringing a younger leader, or a younger leader bringing a senior leader, and actually price it that way, so that you're marketing it, because you need someone who's going to be able to affect change. And if they come
Yes.
by themselves and go back to their team at work, their work's going to be like, why are you trying to be funny? Because it's not funny, right? So you need more than just one. So I would definitely have group rates for 2 or 4 or 10, like you were saying, if that's the right size.
I like that. I really like that.
Angel Balbuena with Wells Fargo. Have you thought about putting together like a kind of like a free trial sample? So like Chris was saying, like deals. So when you go out and you say that it's a 4-hour seminar, sometimes that might be unattractive, like that's too long. I don't know if I want to commit to 4 hours right now. But have you thought about saying, hey, well, just give us 30 minutes of your time with you and a few of your employees, and kind of having a shorter message to get across quicker, so that way they can see kind of what it is and how effective it is. Then that will allow you to kind of go deeper into what the issues are of that leader or that group or whatever. Just find one issue that they can kind of debate that's easy to quick solve, and you can record it and then put that as like testimonials of like, these are just examples of smaller situations. There's obviously bigger situations that can be talked about, but the quicker ones that you can resolve and kind of laugh about, like that was done with the whole lotion thing in the barbershop. You can do that on a much smaller scale and get it out as like a free trial, and then try to get them back for, hey, we'll talk about the bigger issues, but you have to pay to kind of get the whole group involved.
I like that. That's a great idea.
Dr. Bob, thank you for being patient, sir.
Is this a one-stop workshop? Is it do you have a follow-up that you can work with people, or is it going to be kind of a traveling dog point show?
So to answer that question, I liken it to losing weight, right? To answer your question, and no, it's not a one-stop shop. If you come here and you do this once, you're not going to have any results. You know, just like going to the gym, I'm pretty sure Krista is going to have some people in January sign up for memberships, and they're going to go a couple of times, and then they're going to look the same and not have any changes. And so this workshop will get you the foundation, but we have to come in there and then do more training in order to get your leaders where they need to be. So it's a commercial of what we do, not the entire full meal deal. Does that make sense?
Right here.
So you're gonna be doing the workshop often, is what you're saying?
Doing the workshop or pieces part of, or whatever the issues that are going on with that organization. And so this is my workshop. This workshop right here is a part of the bigger picture of the services that a Vision Worldwide has to offer.
His question is, are you gonna do the workshop again?
Yes, we're going to do the workshop. In fact, we're going to do the workshop about 5 different times.
And the follow-up is really where you're going to be the most profitable and the most effective with companies and get them the most referrals.
Absolutely.
The key is just really to give them a teaser with the workshop, so that we can actually get in their companies and teach all of their employees. To kind of say, okay, well, these 2 aren't enough, but we need to get them into the company so we can get 10 and 15 and all the other kind of stuff.
The workshop is the marketing for the follow-up and your ongoing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Over here.
Just piggybacking on, do you have a book or materials or a really cool T-shirt? Because you want them to remember.
Thank you. That's what I was going to ask.
It's in your branding.
Yes.
And they ask you to come back. 4 hours wasn't enough. We went 12.
Oh, wait, man, you signing up?
Laura?
Give me a deal.
Gotcha.
I had the opportunity to go to a meditation class, and one of the meditations for 3 hours was laughing. So it's a meditation, it's a way to meditate through laugh. And I thought that maybe I can give you the contact. It's awesome. So you laugh and laugh and laugh.
Yes, I have heard of yoga laughing. Yeah, so I have heard of that, and it's similar to what we're doing as well. It's just that we're incorporating it into the leadership. If you want to do yoga while we're doing this presentation, you're more than welcome. You know, bring your pad and everything like that. Whatever yoga, that's okay.
Okay, right here.
I may miss something because I was a little late, but to me.
Can you speak up?
Yeah.
Just a little louder.
Yeah, to me, so far, I have not heard the value proposition yet. So, you want to sell this workshop to the businesses, right? Enterprise. Then there is a buyer. So the buyer wants the like HR, head of the HR or the CEO. They want to know if I spend this money, then bring in this workshop to my leaders and my employee, what I get at the end. So
to establish a value proposition in your marketing, whatever, maybe it's a good, I mean, to me, it makes a little bit more sense.
Yes, and so we do have a value proposition. Number one, we're going to improve their retention. Number two, we're going to improve their results as far as what they're getting. We're going to streamline what's going on in their organization because for the most part, a leader in a position, especially in any position, they have things that they're trying to accomplish. But what's more important? How do you prioritize those things in order to win? And so you have that. You're going to get results from your team and how to set goals that you can accomplish. So there's a ton of things that you can get through our leadership and laughter.
It sounds to me, describing, I definitely hear some kind of a value proposition. Then the next question I would be asking you is how you set up yourself apart from other similar things pushed to the companies. Why you're so different? Why I should
So
you than versus other coaching? You know what I mean? You know, when they decide to spend the money, educate their employee, they have to pick up the one they think is right? So how you deliver this message? I am so different. I'm really be able to improve your attention. You know, if that's the biggest problem, I knew a lot of IT company would have that problem. So if you can really take that message, say I can improve that, and then you have a few examples, bingo.
So from the laughter standpoint, my perspective is companies, specifically big companies, they normally provide entertainment, or they normally want entertainment. It depends. Some of them don't. Some of them don't care about entertainment. Some of them just say, okay, it's all about the bottom line. At the end of the year, Christmas party, maybe they're giving out bonuses, going to somebody's house, whatever. But from my perspective, what the laughter is, okay, well, a company would normally hire us, Unscripted DC, to provide entertainment, whether it be for Christmas parties, big promotions, and everything like that. So we add value by bringing in a leadership coach. So not only do you get laughter, but you get leadership as well. So we are giving you a 2-in-1 promotion to where we are offering your employees entertainment, and we're also giving them coaching as well. So that's from our perspective of what we can offer. And not only can we do that, but we can do it over a contracted period of time, and it depends exclusively on the company, whether it be 6 months or once every year. We'll do your Christmas parties for you, we'll do this, we'll do that. But then most importantly, we're leading your employees. We're leading you as leaders to be able to give you both.
All right. As with every 1 Million Cups meeting, usually this gentleman here is honored with the final question, but this time it would be a little self-depreciating to have him ask his own question. So I'd like to give the final question to Mr. Logis here.
So what can the community do to help you grow?
I think today you've done enough. This has been very powerful to, number one, it's a trip being up here from the perspective of not the presenter or as a person that's leading this and being the person that's standing up front, putting your business and all of that stuff out there. And so this was pretty cool and I enjoyed it. And I got so much great stuff from you guys already. I don't know if I could ask for any more. What I do ask is that you write down any ideas that you have to help us take this thing to the next level, because organizations out there do need an organization where they have a culture that is engaging and a culture that people can get together and come together for a common goal and win. People don't wake up in the morning and go to a job and say, you know what, I want to be the worst employee that you ever have. They want to be there and they want to be a part of an organization that cares about them and that has the same values that they have. And by being able to do that, it will take their organization to the next level. And so by getting that information that you guys just gave us has been more than enough. I can't ask for anything else. We're going to take this information back, and then we're going to prioritize this information and put it into action. I know that I can't do all of this tomorrow, but we're going to be working really hard between now and January 15th to be able to get this room packed full of people to get them set up so they can really enjoy their life and what they do. And I guess that is your value proposition, is people want to really be engaged in what they do and have fun at what they do, which creates and improves productivity. So that's what we do. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come out. There's a lot of people that came out here for me, and I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Always fun. What's always amazing about Million Cups is what you learn about your own business and yourselves as we help these great entrepreneurs succeed. So, but real quick, I only have one, so I'm
Yes.
going to give it to Darren there. So, but thanks very much for presenting today. I appreciate it, being here. So, Donnell, it's always entertaining to hear you talk, that's for sure. So, very quickly here, what else do we got here to talk about?
Events.
Events that are coming up.
On December 11th, Coach Marvin is having a Vision Quest planning conference from 1:30 to 7 at Carrabba's Italian